Hey, somebody asked me about this in an email. It's crazy is, that this actually came to me in an email. I didn't see the email, but I actually was thinking about this exact same thing yesterday for a mod that I was working on of a burlap sack. But I just used a mesh road, and that's not the best thing to use because mesh roads use asphalt for uh, a ground model, as far as I can tell, and they pretty much you can't change it from what I've seen. But let's get into Blender. That's not Blender. That's a different program. Ah, shoot. All right, so we load Blender. Now the way I would make a slide like that, I'd first import in like the car from the game or something, so I could see what the size of the car is that I want to have a reference to. Let's see. All right. Yes, I know there is a measure tool, but I'm in America and I do not read metrics very well. I don't like doing extra math in my head, so I'd rather just see. Seeing is believing for me. So, add a mesh. Let's try this. Let's add a mesh. Uh, Let me think the best way to make this would probably be maybe a cube. Let's just get the width right. Let's just get the width right first, or close. Now we're pretty much done with this now. So we'll go into edit mode and we will put some loop cuts. Probably don't need all of those. Well, yeah, we probably do. Let's see, that look about right? Yeah, I think so. Now let's look at the front view and let us grab the nodes with X-ray turned on so we get the ones in the back too. Let's move those down. Ooh, that is ugly. Let's put another loop cut or two in there. All right. I'll grab these. I'll turn on proportional editing. If you're a 3D Studio user, then you know this is soft knee. Alright, so this could kind of be the size of the thing. You know what? I said I didn't need that car again, but you know what? I do. I do need it again. Yep. I need to look at it once more. Will that fit in between there? Well, yes. That's what I wanted to know. Alright. Damn, I hit the wrong thing. Edit mode. Now we will select these faces on the front, and we will extrude this region here. The length that the slide will be, I don't know how long the slide will be. I'm just, maybe that long, I don't know. Now we will add some loop cuts, because as you know, a box will not bend unless it's got some kind of folds in it. That's what these are going to behave like, folds. So we don't want so many that the damn game's going to run bad. But we do need enough in there so that we got some kind of smooth, you know. So let's grab these vertices with X-ray on. Let's turn on. Oh, proportional editing still on. Let's try to move this down, page up, page down on the keyboard to change the size of your proportional editing. Now you see it's going to stretch, and it's going to make the thing thin. So what happened to my proportion editing? What happened? Does that not work with the... Oh, I had it turned off. Did I? Oh no, I had it set wrong. Man, my mind's not here today, apparently. It is not here. Now I'll just duplicate this thing. We don't need X-ray on now. We may have a little seam here, but nothing really that big a deal. But you know, even these damn things, they got seams on them. I remember going to Whitewater, there's a damn thing scratching my back from the different seams where the parts are joined together. Something like that, maybe. And we got this, you know, crazy looking slide that we can now just join these two objects together. Let's give it a texture. Let's just call this slide. How about slide? How about slide 1? And give this a mole green color. Alright, let's duplicate this one and move it over. No, not delete. Don't delete it, but that reminds me, it's a good time to save your file. It sucks having to start over. So we duplicate this, move it over. See how's that look? Could it maybe be just a tad closer? Yeah, I could be a little closer. Now, copy both of these and duplicate them, move rather, to over to here, and then duplicate them again, move them over to here, and now we got something kind of like this. Now what we'll do is we're going to grab all these and we're going to move them up out of the ground because they're in the ground now. We're going to move them up out of the ground, and then we're going to center it so that it's more or less like this. Makes it easier to move it and rotate it and whatnot. So what we'll do now is set the origin to the 3D cursor, apply all transforms, turn on shade smooth, oops, look at that. Now we'll go into the material editor, or shading, whatever it's called, thing here. Now we got these different cubes. Now since we copied each cube to a different cube, we have to make a new material for each one. I'll just call it slide 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, however many there are. Each one give it a different color. New image. New material, Make sure that yeah, okay. The next one, let's see, slide. It'll be the slide with 6 draw calls. We'll have 6 textures. Maybe that one's yeller. Old yeller. Maybe this one is pink, purple, whatever. Maybe this one is, I don't know. Oh yeah, I gotta make a new material. Slide 5, slide 5. This one will be, don't know, maybe. I guess that's teal. And leave this one white. So this is our, oh, we don't have an orange in there. Maybe make that one orange. We don't have a green either. Thought I made it green. All right, so I think this will work. Now all we need to do is join them all together. You don't have to join them, but I'm gonna join them all and call this a slide. I'm gonna get rid of this light and this camera. And I'm gonna make that's what happened to our green one. See, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, I needed 6. Slide 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now, before I get too far ahead of myself, let me just make a folder real quick. Call this slide. Inside of slide, I'm gonna put this main.materials file. Oh, I didn't mean to move it. I just meant to copy it into there. Now inside of here, we need 5 textures. So this one will be slide 1. And that gets copied and that gets pasted here. Well, you can just type it 2 more times. Yeah, you could, but then you run the risk of spelling it wrong one of the times. At least copying and pasting, you know you ain't gonna get that wrong. So put one of them kind of brackets there, whatever them things are, with a comma. That tells it, hey, there's another texture. So I'll paste the first texture. I'll just call this slide 222. Now I'm gonna have to tweak these colors. I didn't realize this damn thing was. I kept wondering, like, why is all my stuff blue? Now I see why. I don't want any extra emissive anything. Well, you only would see that if you changed it to PBR material. Then you'd see that turned on. So ground type, we'll just leave it at ice. Ice is fine. There's no color maps, but we do need to make a few copies of this. We need 6 of them. So under here, put another bracket, or whatever that bracket's called. We'll paste the first 2 again. All right, so we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Alrighty. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And of course, the last thing ends with a bracket, bracket. No comma, just a bracket, bracket. The only time you'll see this kind of bracket with a comma is separating more than one texture. So we'll save this. Now we will go back to Blender. We'll go back to layout. We'll add 2 empty plane axes. And call one base 0, 0 and the other start 0, 1. Think of these as folder structure. You can think of it like that. You'll hold shift down while you left click and drag so that you can drop start into base. And then you will move your slide in there in the same way. Hold shift, left click, drag, and drop that into start. Now I'm going to just duplicate the slide and I'm going to make this the collision mesh. COLMESH-1. And that is that. Now I'm going to export this thing to that folder on the desktop. Then I'm going to move that folder into the level that I want to use it in. Where are you at, slide? Where are you at? There you are. Slide.da. There's a yawn in there. So mucho sueño en la mañana. All right. Now we can move this into our level. Now, since we made our materials, we ain't got no texture maps, so they don't have to be in here. But since this is in here with this, all we have to do is just put this folder in the level that we want to test it in. I propose it goes in small grid because that loads the fastest. So if you haven't already and you want to put it in, say, small grid, which I doubt that's where you want to put it, So maybe I should pick something different like industrial. Load industrial, hit F11, save level, and then that'll make you a, like in this user folder, it'll make you a temp folder basically for anything you create that goes with that level. But in the art folder is where you will paste, slide, which you see has got its own main materials. So that allows it to be moved from any level to any level without you having to screw with the textures at all. They're fine like they are. So we load industrial, and you'll go to the asset browser and you'll import in the asset, and then you'll hit Control F7. I didn't realize the game was already loaded. So we'll load industrial. Once you spawn the object that you want to, I think my game is going to crash on me. Of course it is, because I'm making a video. No, it didn't crash. Surprise, surprise. Thought it was going to crash on me. Hell, it might as well crash. It's taking forever. I don't know why lately. Maybe I gotta clear some cache or something. I don't know why it's been acting like this lately. So in our asset browser, that's not the asset browser. Asset browser, let's find that folder, slide. And we just moved into there. And drag and drop our slide right here. Now what you may see is them colors did not transfer with Blender, which is right, they don't. So what you got to do now, I don't know where you want your slide to go, but you go into material. There is a material for each one like I made. You just got to change the color for each one, whatever you want it to be. Slide 2. Oh, maybe that's yellow. Yeller. These aren't in any particular order. They're kind of like all over the place. Number 4. Green. Orange. Oh, and number 6 will be pink, purple, now save current material and then save all dirty materials. Dirty materials are materials you modified but didn't yet save, which is fine. You can just save them all at one time like that. Now you may want a little extra something on your texture there. I mean, like a little shine or something like that. You can experiment with different things in these different slots. Just know if you add something to this, it's going to modify the main.materials.json for that particular item. If you add a map, it's going to add a directory. You just have to later delete the directory so that only the color map is in there if you still want to share it between levels. Now all these are using the ground type ice, which you can put frictionless also, which you probably be better than ice, but we'll leave it here for now. And we'll just rebuild collision, and we'll put a car up here and give it the old test, which I didn't make a little spot for them to sit on. It's just, that's fine. You can stick a mesh road up there if you want to. Which that's putting it on the ground. I ain't gonna fool with that. I'm just gonna move the car up here. Pause the game though. Hit Control F7 to rebuild collisions, or go up here and rebuild collisions. That'll get the collision mesh to work. Whenever the game is paused and you're moving a car in the world editor, when you unpause it, that'll be its new home position. Not home, it'll be its new reset position. Home will still put it back wherever it spawned when it was home, when it first spawned. So like hitting Shift R after unpausing this will result in it coming back. Now we got a boo-boo here. If you notice, this thing is eating this car. So what does that mean? Well, that means the normals are flipped, which is a good point. I guess I need to... These two balls up here, if you click on face orientation, it'll show you the direction of the normals, which this, for whatever reason, is inside out. Like, only inside of it are the normals the right way, blue. So you just go to edit mode. If that ever happens, hit A to select all the faces that you want to flip, which in this case would be the whole thing, and say mesh normals flip. Now they are flipped the correct way. I mean, that's great if you want to simulate lava eating a car. You could do something like that and it'll slowly eat it. But that's not what we're doing here. We're going to re-export this here DAE, and we're going to... Now, don't put it in the desktop version. Remember, we moved the folder to the level industrial. So that's where we need to navigate to. Levels, industrial, art, slide, and overwrite that slide with the one with the correct normals. And now in the game, after I rebuild collisions, it will be correct. I just have to put the car where it's supposed to go, which it is not in the right spot now. Unpause. There we go. There we go. Now, one thing I thought all these textures had the ice ground model. Okay, they do. I was making sure. So you can change this in here to say frictionless, for example. If you want to say make the blue one have a different grip than the purple. Let's see if I can get that oriented right. We'll copy him over to here. Now how to make them both go at the same time. That's a Havoc NG question there. That's not one I know. Maybe these aren't the best. This maybe is not the best model. Maybe this needed to be wider. I mean, that's no problem. You can make it wider. I mean, just scale it in Blender. Switch to this vehicle here. There we go. Yep. But, you know, if they all went down there without any incident, then what fun would that be, right? But just so you know, if you want to add this to a developer map, load the developer map like industrial here and just simply say save level. That will create in the user folder a temporary folder, basically, that you can later delete it if you want to revert back to the original. But this is where all the things you create go. Now, if you got your own custom level you're working on, then you already got all the stuff you need in there. All you have to do is just put that folder. Like if I want to put this on my Outrun folder, I just go to the industrial art slide, copy that folder, and then paste it in the other level's art folder so that it has its own folder. So that's about it. I can't think of nothing else. It was quite an interesting little project, which I guess probably took me about 30 minutes to make, something like that. But like I said earlier, there will be a seam where I joined those two there. That was the only thing I could have. I could have just made the original thing a lot longer and then subdivided it more times and then not had that seam. But you know what? If you don't like the seam, this is all you got to do. You just put it in the ground. Actually, this would kind of be like a water slide if it was kind of in the water a little bit. You know what? Let's just see what that does. Let's put our car up there. Now you could put a hidden river or a visible river and have it follow the path of this. Probably people probably be more interested in that than a basic water slide. So we'll just put some water there in it. Now, getting that to have the right amount of turns and curves, and this is as challenging as messing with a mesh road. It won't let me put a new one in between. Figure out which one of these. I thought one of these may have more subdivisions. Maybe it's a segment length. Man, this thing's going to irritate me. I'm about to say to hell with the water part, because I ain't got patience. That's something I lack. Well, water has to move to look like water moving. So that's where your ripple speed comes in. And you got different directions depending on whether this is plus or minus. Depends on the direction. I just say turn up the ripple speed so you kind of get an idea where what's going where at the moment, but you can't really see really good. Let's increase the ripple. let's make this go. Let's stop these. So we're just looking at one at a time. And we'll change the direction. I don't know exactly which one down goes which direction. That's something I haven't took the time to really. But that kind of looks like it's going down now. I'll just increase the speed. Not that much. There's a lot of foam. Don't really want any. Oh, that's the reflection. That's the well, I don't know. This is specular lighting. I mean, you can mess with all. I'm not sitting here all day with these settings on this water. But you can make this, fine tune this to be something better. I'll just try to straighten this up a little. See, you're not going to get it. You need more damn vertices in there to really be able to bend it everywhere it needs to bend. I'm not spending all day doing this. So, like I said, I don't got the patience for that. I have a lot of patience, but not here. All right, let's return this thing around. Now, what directly infects the vehicle and the water is the flow magnitude physics, I believe is what it's called. That is, where is it? There, flow magnitude physics. Just put this at 2 and see how it does. All right, let's say 5. Maybe the collisions need to be rebuilt. Oh no, let's drop it in there again and see. Yeah, it's more effect on it now. Say 25. Let's shoot it like a rocket probably. And like I said, you can make these a lot better if you want. You know, probably something like a 2 or 3 would probably be good for something like that. Maybe 5. Or 10, I don't know. But I think this is going to be it for this one.